Inspirational, emotional, spiritual message for today, February 11th, 2026. Fear versus faith. 2 Timothy 1, verses 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Fear is loud. It whispers worst-case scenarios in the middle of the night. It magnifies obstacles. It questions your ability. It tells you you're not ready, not qualified, not strong enough. But 2 Timothy 1 verses 7 gives us a powerful truth. Fear does not come from God. Paul wrote this to Timothy, a young leader facing intimidation, opposition, and pressure. Timothy had every reason to feel afraid. Yet Paul reminds him, the spirit you received is not fear. In other words, fear may show up, but it does not own you. It does not define you. It is not your inheritance. God has given you something else. Power, not your own strength, but His. Power to stand. Power to endure. Power to obey, even when it feels uncomfortable. Fear says, you can't. Power says, with God, you can. Love, fear makes you self-focused. It asks, what if I fail? What if I get hurt? Love shifts the focus outward. Love says, even if it's risky, I will trust God enough to move. Perfect love drives out fear because it reminds us that we are secure in Him. A sound mind. Fear creates chaos in your thoughts. It spirals, it exaggerates, it assumes. But God gives clarity, stability, discipline in your thinking. A sound mind allows you to pause and say, is this fear speaking, or is this faith? Fear and faith cannot lead you at the same time. One will dominate your decisions. Fear keeps you stuck in what-ifs. Faith moves you forward in even-ifs. Fear says, what if I fail? Faith says, even if I fail, God will sustain me. Fear says, what if I don't have enough? Faith says, even if I feel lacking, God is my provider. Fear says, what if this doesn't work out? Faith says, even if it doesn't look like I expected, God is still working. Let's be honest, fear is human. We all experience it. Fear of rejection, fear of not being enough, fear of stepping into something new, fear of losing control, fear about the future. But here's the key. Feeling fear is not the same as living under it. Faith is not the absence of fear. It's choosing to trust God in spite of it. David felt fear when he faced Goliath. Esther felt fear when she approached the king. Peter felt fear when he stepped out of the boat, but faith moved them anyway. Maybe your fear right now sounds like this. What if I step out and it fails? What if I forgive and get hurt again? What if I trust God and nothing changes? And today, God gently asks you, what fears need to be replaced with faith? Not ignored, not denied, replaced. Because fear will try to convince you that you're alone. Faith reminds you that God is with you. Fear narrows your vision. Faith lifts your eyes. Fear paralyzes. Faith mobilizes. You cannot control every outcome, but you can choose which voice you will agree with. And here is the beautiful promise hidden in this verse. If God did not give you fear, then you do not have to keep it. You can surrender it. You can say, this anxiety about my future does not come from God. This intimidation does not come from God. This tormenting thought does not come from God. Instead, I receive power. I receive love. I receive a sound mind. Faith is not loud or dramatic all the time. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it simply says, God, I trust you one step at a time. And that is enough.